Donald Trump is the 45th President of the United States of America. From a businessman with no political experience, he shook Washington when he was elected president in November 2016 against fierce opponent Hillary Clinton. Trump's political career over the past 4 years, like his own life, has been a long and controversial story. Childhoods. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York in a 23-room house. His father, Fred Trump, is a wealthy real estate tycoon. His mother, Nancy Trump, is a housewife. Trump has both German blood from his father. Trump's paternal grandparents are German immigrants, and Scottish blood from his mother. At the age of 3, Trump had an income equivalent to $200,000 per year in today's value, becoming a millionaire at the age of 8. And by the age of 17, Trump owned part of his father's 52-unit apartment building. Trump is an aggressive and unruly rich kid. In the book Art of the Deal, published in 1987, he said that in 2nd grade, he punched his music teacher because he thought he knew nothing about music. As a result, he was almost expelled from school. I wouldn't say I'm proud of this, but it's clear evidence that early on I had a tendency to stand up and state my opinions in a very strong way. The difference now is that I use my brain instead of my fists, according to Trump quoted in the book. At the age of 13, Fred's father transferred Donald to the New York Military School, a private school, where he hoped school discipline would help turn his energies in a more positive direction. Childhood. The first years of military school were hell for Trump. He was beaten and slapped by the teacher in charge, Major Theodore Dorbios, until he made the bed and scrubbed his shoes, something Trump had never had to do. But quickly after that, Trump found a way to get ahead in the environment. Hard. He turned his competitive personality into an advantage. For all assigned tasks, Trump wanted to be the one to do it best. Very quickly, Trump gained the trust of teacher Dorbios and became the cadet captain. Trump is also so good at sports that Dorbios said people from the Philadelphia baseball team came to watch Trump, but he wanted to go to college and make money. Information about Trump's remarkable childhood was published in NPR and Rolling Stone in 2015, when Trump began campaigning for president. In 1964, Trump entered Fordham University. 2 years later, he transferred to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, which Trump described as the hardest school to get into, the best school in the world. The New York Times, in its first articles about Trump in the 1970s, twice reported erroneously that Trump graduated number 1 in his class. However, in reality, Trump was not even on the list of students receiving honorary degrees.
Both Wharton and the New York Military Academy declined to release Trump's academic achievements. His niece, Mary L. Trump, accused Donald of hiring someone to take the SAT for him to get into the prestigious Wharton School of Economics. Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, in early 2019, when testifying before Congress, revealed that Trump ordered him to threaten high schools and universities to never release Trump's grades or SAT scores. During his student days, Trump was deferred from military service for times, even though he was healthy enough to serve. In 1972, Trump was postponed for the 5th time because of a bone spur in his leg. Attorney Cohen said during the hearing that Trump falsified medical records so he wouldn't have to go to Vietnam to fight in the war. "You think I'm stupid? I won't go to Vietnam," Cohen recalled Trump saying in a conversation. Family. In 1977, Trump married his first wife, a Czech model named Ivana Zelníková. They have 3 children, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. In 1992, the two divorced after Trump had an affair with actress Marla Maples. In 2005, Trump married Slovenian supermodel Melania Nos and welcomed their youngest child, Baron, into the world in 2006. Melania Trump later became the First Lady of the United States. Ups and downs in the marketplace. Donald Trump has never had to be a normal employee. In 1971, at the age of 25, he became president of his father's real estate company and changed the company's name to the Trump Organization. During this time, Trump received a small loan from his father, about $1 million USD, to start his business. Despite praising the career of his father, who succeeded by building housing for low and middle income people, Trump wants to turn his family name into a luxury brand. However, things are not easy. In 1973, the Department of Justice sued the real estate company of Trump and his son for discriminating against black people. Trump and notorious lawyer Roy Cohn sued officials in the Department of Justice for defamation. Although this lawsuit was dismissed by the court and Trump management eventually had to agree to relearn the Fair Housing Act, Trump still declared himself victorious. Trump emphasized that in the lawsuit settlement agreement document that he finally signed, there was no paragraph saying he pleaded guilty. In the 1970s and 1982, Trump massively expanded his father's businesses. He invested in hotel chains and luxury real estate, thanks to his father's money and connections. In 1980, Trump opened the Grand Hyatt Hotel after an agreement with the New York City government that allowed him not to pay taxes for 40 years. In 1983, he inaugurated Trump Tower, a 56-story building on Fifth Avenue, and located the headquarters of the Trump Organization here. In the following years, Trump continued to buy and develop many other properties, most of them luxury hotels. However, the excessive expansion of operations caused Trump to fall into bankruptcy. A series of brands bearing the Trump name fell into early blooming and fading, including names such as Trump Airlines, Trump Beverages Beverage Company, Trump Game, a form of monopoly, Trump Casinos, Trump Magazines, Trump Steak, GoTrump.com Travel Ticket Booking Company, Trump Tower Tampa, Trump University, Trump Vodka, etc. By the 1990s, Trump was broke. Trump's companies filed for bankruptcy 6 times due to inability to repay debt. Trump owes up to $4 billion in 70 banks, with about $800 million in debt secured by personal assets. During the process of filing for bankruptcy and negotiating with banks, Trump refused to pay millions of dollars in debt to his workers and contractor partners. "I know how to play with the bankruptcy rules. This law is very beneficial to me as a tool to reduce debt," Trump told Newsweek in 2011. During the 10 years from 1985 to 1994, Trump lost at least $1.17 billion. Secretly, Trump relied on his father's huge fortune to continue living like a king in the public eye and prepare for a comeback. Like one time in 1990, Trump's father had to let a lawyer hold a check for $3.35 million to save one of his son's casinos. Trump also devised a way to draft a will supplement codicil and asked his father's lawyers to convince him to sign it. This addition would give Trump full authority to decide on inheritance, but Mr. Fred refused to sign. In the late 1990s, after 72 banks worked with Trump to liquidate company assets to recover debt, most did not want to lend to Trump anymore, except for some foreign banks that had just entered the US, such as Deutsche Bank. In 1998, this German bank loaned Trump $425 million, creating momentum for the return of the New York real estate tycoon. In an investigative report by the New York Times, published in September 2020, Mr. Trump still had a personal guaranteed debt of $421 million, most of which was owed to Deutsche Bank. Over the past 3 decades, Trump and his companies have been involved in a total of more than 4,000 lawsuits ranging from conflicts with card players, million-dollar real estate disputes, to defamation lawsuits. Personal defamation. "I'm very rich," Trump said in 2015, after announcing his candidacy. "I have a net worth of $8.73 billion. I don't say this to brag, but to show that this is the type of thinking our country needs." However, no one knows exactly how much his real assets are worth. Despite many pledges to release his tax returns, up to now, Trump has not released them because he is being audited by the tax department. In 2020, Forbes estimated Trump's net worth at $2.5 billion. Media career. Trump has such a successful media career that the name Trump was mentioned by Obama in 1991 as a symbol of wealth and success in the eyes of the American people, even though Trump was heavily in debt at that time. In a 144-page article at the time, a contribution to a law professor's book, Project Obama, and a classmate at Harvard wrote about the ironic optimism of many Americans when they believe that it is possible now. I'm not Donald Trump yet, but just wait and see. If I can't do it, my children will be able to do it. In 1996, Trump purchased the Miss Universe organization, which organizes beauty pageants such as Miss Universe, Miss America, and Miss Teen. In 2004, Trump participated in the reality TV show The Apprentice with NBC. The huge remuneration of $427 million from 14 seasons, combined with the show's reputation, saved Trump's declining career. According to a New York Times investigation, Trump has been accused by many women of sexually assaulting and behaving inappropriately towards women, especially during beauty pageants. In 2005, he was accused of rushing into the room while the contestants were changing clothes. In 2016, leaked tapes showed Trump boasting about his ability to approach women. In it, he boasted that, "Just squeeze the girl's pussy, you can do anything you want." Originally, "Grab him by the pussy, you can do anything." This caused Trump to publicly apologize. However, even in his apology, Trump did not forget to add, "Bill Clinton said worse things." Trump is the co-author of the best-selling book, Art of the Deal. In addition, his name also appears alongside the authors of many other books about business, such as Art of Comeback, 1997, Why We Want You to Be Rich, 2006, Trump 101, The Road to Success, 2006, Trump Never Gives Up, How I Turned My Biggest Difficulties into Success, 2008. Art of the Deal is one of the most famous books about Trump's life, then only 38 years old. However, co-author Tony Schwartz, who actually wrote the pen, later expressed regret about its content. Political career. Mr. Trump has changed parties 5 times. In 1987, he registered as a member of the Republican Party, then changed to the Reform Party in 1999. He switched again to the Democratic Party in 2001, then returned to the Republican Party in 2009. In 2011, he became a candidate, independent. Finally, in 2012, Trump registered with the Republican Party. Since the 1980s, Mr. Trump has been rumored to run for president with statements about his political stance that are not much different from today. In a letter titled, To the American People, in 1987, he declared that Japan and other countries have taken advantage of us for many years, and don't let our great country be laughed at anymore. In 1988, Trump for the first time ranked in the top 10 list of most admired men in America, according to Gallup survey. In 1999, Trump announced his first run for President of the United States as a member of the Reform Party. He set up an exploratory committee and named longtime ally Roger Stone as director. In his numerous television appearances, he asserted that he has a chance of winning the election. In February 2000, he ended the campaign because he thought the Reform Party was too chaotic. Critics say this is a trick by Trump to burnish his name and sell books. In 2011, Trump was one of the strongest promoters of the Obama was not born in America conspiracy theory. On Twitter and on television, Trump continuously raised questions and asked Obama to release his birth certificate. To end the controversy, on April 27, 2011, Mr. Obama released the entire birth certificate. However, Trump blamed Hillary Clinton for starting this controversy in 2008, and he was the one who ended it. On June 16, 2015, Mr. Trump officially announced his candidacy for president as a member Republican Party. His campaign slogans were Make America Great Again and America First. On November 3, 2016, he won a large electoral vote against his opponent Hillary Clinton, despite losing nearly 3 million popular votes, becoming the 45th president-elect of the United States. President of the United States. As president, Mr. Trump immediately implemented many of his campaign promises, including withdrawing the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP), the Paris Climate Agreement, cutting taxes, and tightening border security. However, the beginning of the Trump administration has been tumultuous. On May 17, 2017, the Department of Justice appointed former Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI), Robert Mueller, as a special prosecutor in charge of investigating allegations that Trump's campaign colluded with Russia to change the results. Vote, according to declassified documents, when Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced this news. President Donald Trump fell into his chair and exclaimed, "Oh, my God. It is so awful. My presidency is over. Bugger me." However, his political career is still safe, because the impeachment in December 2019, initiated by the Democratic Party, failed to pass the Senate. Trump was acquitted by the Senate, with the Republican Party majority, on February 5, 2020, on both charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. He is also the thirdest president to be impeached by the Senate, after Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. With the slogan, "America First," Trump's 4 years left a controversial legacy. Supported by the Republican Party in the Senate, Trump successfully appointed 3 conservative judges to the Supreme Court. At the federal court level, he also appointed more than 200 judges in just one term. Regarding immigration, Trump is famous for his statement, "Build a border wall and force Mexico to pay for it." However, after 4 years of arguing with the Democratic Party, the wall is not finished, and Mexico still hasn't paid a penny for it. Trump also set the principle of zero tolerance when treating illegal immigrants crossing the border, including using force to separate migrant children from their parents. Economics is the area that Trump claims has made America great again. The U.S. economy grew at 2.5% per year during Trump's first 3 years in office, up 0.2%, compared to the annual growth in the previous 3 years of the Obama administration. The Trump administration's drastic tax cut policy, cutting $1,500 billion, has prompted corporations to transfer billions of dollars of capital to the U.S. U.S. stocks also broke records many times, and the unemployment rate reached a record low in half a century before the pandemic. However, the loss of tax revenue combined with Washington's heavy spending on ambitious projects caused America's public debt to increase sharply. Since Trump took office until October 2020, U.S. public debt increased to more than $27,000 billion. If calculated before the pandemic, by February 2020, U.S. public debt had also increased to $23,000 billion. The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic almost erased the U.S. economic achievements in terms of unemployment, growth, and employment. Trump declared, "I restored the American economy once, I will do it a second time." In foreign affairs, Trump's strategy of using personal diplomacy brought him both success and caution and estrangement from allies. Trump has met North Korean leader Kim Jong-un 3 times, helping to defuse a nuclear war on the Korean peninsula. In the final months of his term, the Trump administration also successfully helped reconcile the long-standing feud of some Arab countries in the Middle East with Israel, bringing a new dawn of peace in the land known as the cauldron of war. This, causing trade tensions, is a strong hallmark of the Trump administration. In addition to the fierce and persistent trade war with China, Mr. Trump also threatened that Vietnam takes advantage of us the most in the world, and launched an investigation into Vietnam's currency manipulation. America's close allies in Europe, the Americas, and Asia have all tasted Trump's wrath. In 2018, Trump announced that his new campaign slogan for his second term was, "Keep America Great." In August 2020, Trump's election committee announced the second-term agenda, "Fighting for You." In November 2020, after the election with Joe Biden as the winner, Trump accused election fraud. did not recognize the results and launched a costly litigation battle in battleground states. The final electoral vote result was 306-32. Trump lost by the same margin that he won against Clinton in 2016.